What's up, guys? It's Woogle with Woogles Outdoors, and today I want to tell you guys how to pick out a good bushcraft knife. One of the things I believe everybody should have out here when they're doing their bushcraft survival training, or if you get in a real situation where you need to survive, you need a cutting tool. Now, I can make a cutting tool out here with all these rocks and various objects available to me, but if I already have a cutting tool, that's less calories that I have to worry about spending on. And it's also a more reliable tool. I can buy a carving steel knife at a store, but it's going to be much more reliable than a rock that could chip off and, be pretty stressful. So, how do you know what a good bushcraft knife is? Well, you need to go by the functions of what they're good for. A good bushcraft knife will be sharp, keep an edge, so you need to check the grind on it. Scandinavian grind is a really good one. You need to make sure that it's made out of a high quality steel. So if it's carbon, it's a good steel. You don't want stainless or anything like that out here. With carbon, though, you can definitely use that, but you're going to want to blue it. We can go over that in a different video, but you're just basically protecting it from the elements because it will rust. So, what else can you use it for? You need a full tang knife. Why do you need a full tang knife? Well, let's talk about that first. This knife I have here is a buck knife. It is full tang, which means the blade extends all the way through into the handle. And that just simply means that when they craft this blade, that the knife itself comes from the blade all the way back to the handle, and they actually form the handle around the blade. Some knives that you buy may only be half tang, or just a regular knife with the handle on it, and what will happen in that case is the knife can actually break off from the handle, and then you've got a useless knife because you can't really handle it. And I guess you could turn it into a spear or something, so don't freak out if that does happen, but you're better off having something more reliable. With this kind of knife, you're holding it by the actual blade itself, so it's not going to break off as easy. It's more sturdy. It's more secure, and that's really the reason you need a full tang knife, just because that they're so much more secure. One of the reasons I actually chose this knife, I did have a Mora Kniv. I've actually ended up losing that knife, and I do love Mora knives. And I do want to talk about that quickly as well. Mora is a brand of knife that has got an ejection molded plastic handle on it. It's only 3/4 tang, which means that it comes back into the handle, but it's not all the way through like this is, as you can see the metal part. But since it's injection molded, plastic around it like that, like hard polyurethane, it's not going to break off, and those are safe to use. Mora Kniv is a great knife, and the Bushcraft Black is the one that I would recommend to anybody if you're getting started in the knives and you really want a good option. Again, they're carbon, so you're going to want to make sure to blue that knife. You can blue it by just sticking it into an orange and leaving it there overnight, but again, we'll go over that into a different video. The reason I chose this knife, though, is because, well, first off, I like the grind on it. The grind will hold its edge for quite a while, and I like that. It's easy to sharpen, and it's good to go. It's full tang, it looks pretty, and I can use it for a variety of functions because the back of it has a 90-degree tang on it, which means that the edge on the back of it is 90 degrees. It's completely flat. You don't want one that comes up or that's sharp on the top or anything like that, because you're going to want to use this for ferrocerium rods or other objects. You can even use these to split with. And I know there's controversy in the bushcraft community where you're split on whether you can baton with a knife or not baton. We'll go over that in a different video also. But the reason I really chose this is because of that 90-degree tang. It helps me with the whole batoning idea and as far as ferro rods go. If you get further into the idea of bushcraft knives, you've covered the idea, well, it's full tang. This is a good, sturdy knife with a good grind on it. It's made out of a good steel, so it's easy to sharpen. It will hold its edge, and it's also got the 90-degree tang on top, so I can use it with my ferro rods or batoning, right? Well, what next? You also want to make sure that your knife is well balanced. You don't want something overly huge out here. I'm sorry, Crocodile Dundee, that was an awesome movie, but you don't have to have, a machete-style knife out here. If you want something like that, bring a machete, but you don't have to have a huge knife out here, because practically this little small knife right here saves weight. I can pack it in pretty easily, and it gets the work done. I can do all kinds of feather rods with this very easily. It's very balanced in my hand. It's smooth. If I've got an oversized, bulky knife, it's going to be unbalanced. It's going to be hard to work with the smaller woods that I have to work with. A big knife, you can work with bigger stuff, but in that case, just bring a machete or a camp axe with you. I mean, after all, you don't have to have the Crocodile Dundee style knife. When you're buying a knife out here, you're buying for quality, because if you're willing to sacrifice quality on a knife, you're willing to sacrifice your life, because out here, this thing could mean your life. Dave Canterbury is one of my favorite teachers of the bushcraft community, and he actually teaches the 5 C's, and the 5 C's, one of them is the cutting tool, And this thing could absolutely save your life, I hear. And that's something that we all have to be aware of, is how important a cutting tool is to our survival pack. Lastly, I want to cover the idea of a sheath. And the sheath is what you put your knife in, for those who don't know. A sheath is actually more important than what you understand. A lot of people, you can wear these plastic sheaths and stuff that go around your neck. Those are fine. But the idea is you just want to make sure you have something that keeps your knife out of the elements. So good leather that's, maybe waterproof leather or anything like that is okay to use. But the knife could end up cutting that. So try to get one that's got like a metal lining on the inside, which is what mine has, as you can see here. But the sheaths that you want to use for your knives, you want to make sure that it keeps it out of the elements and it's sturdy enough to hold your knife for a long period of time. And it's also something you want to make sure that you can maybe pack away in your backpack easily and conceal it, because some of these knives you may need to conceal at certain points in your field. Either way, guys, I hope this video has reached out to some of you and helped you with the idea of where to start with your knife. I can't say I'm an expert on bushcraft knives, and I'm sure some of you out there may know a lot more than I do. So if you do, please go in the comments below and let me know what else you would look for into a bushcraft knife. These are things I like to look for in bushcraft knives before I buy them. What else can you recommend before you buy a knife? And also leave comments for other people to view in down there so they can learn as well. Either way it goes, guys, this has been Woogle with Woogles Outdoors. Please go down below, like, subscribe, and comment. Check out some of my other videos. I have tons of bushcraft and survival videos on here, as well as an awesome vlogging series called Hit the Trail, where I record my camping and kayaking adventures, where I go out in the woods all the time. Peace out, guys.